What's up, everyone? I hope you guys are doing amazing today. I am checking something on... I can't comment. That's interesting. Okay, what's up, everyone? This is Spoken Word Live. My name is Joshua T. Berglan. I am your host. I am the founder and creator of the World's Mayor Experience Omni-Media platform. Of course, there's so much with this platform that's a lot of fun. You can check it out. Right below me, you can see joshuatberglan.com. Let me get out of the way so you can see it. And by the way, I have no idea how this camera is going to move. It just starts moving. Like it doesn't, I don't tell it what to do. It's not like an Ozbot where I move my head this way. Oh, well, I guess it's it's gonna move. The extreme zoom of this thing. It is kind of cool. I just have to figure out how to use it correctly. And once again, the chat is not here. When I decide which streaming platform I'm actually going to use, when I actually start taking, it's not that I don't take these spoken words live. It's just that I'm not in a normal setup environment that I would normally want to do spoken words. So like I'm having fun with this. Of course, I'm going to have fun with it even if I was in a studio. But nonetheless, I'm tinkering around with things. I'm one of those creatives that doesn't care about being perfect. It's one of the beauties of live broadcast is that I'm not going to say everything perfect, and sometimes I'm going to forget what I'm saying, or sometimes it just all kinds of things happen that are different here. But I am so glad that you're here. Thank you for being here. I wish I could see the chat because, again, in part of working out these bugs and deciding if I'm going to just stream from one platform or do all of them like I'm doing now, I don't know. I mean, ultimately, I'm going to eventually host all of this on my website. But right now, I'm having fun with it being on social media. Can replay it. And so anyway, whether you're watching the replay or live, thank you for being here. Before I get into this, I'm actually part of the reason why, before I draw the word, part of the reason, and this is spoken word, and for those of you who are watching for the first time, I don't know what the episodes are about. I shake this little thing up here, and then I draw a word, and then that's what I talk about. But this is episode 10. I would say the last 8 broadcasts, the word I drew was like the right word to draw that day because I had already been talking about those things, and it manifested, or I don't know. I don't understand how that works. It creeps me out. I mean, it even creeps me out when, I don't know if those of you who read the Bible, but when you have a thought or something, or you have a question, and then you just open the Bible randomly, and then boom, there's your answer. Like when that happens, like that's what's been happening with drawing these words. So today I'm going to test it just for fun because I feel led to talk about something. Because this ties into my gratitude. First and foremost, speaking of gratitude, I'm grateful that my head has been more calm. I say that, and now I feel it. That energy has been way better the last few days. So I'm going to try not to talk about it at all or reference it and see what happens. It's just a test. It has been better. I want to make that clear, and I'm grateful for that. I don't know what's different. I've been sleeping with a weighted blanket. I think I'm going on day 6 with this weighted blanket. I think that is contributing to it, but I'm sleeping straight through, and I don't do that. I tremor when I sleep, and I mean, I think the weighted blanket helps. Like, I know that has to help. I don't know the answers. The problem, I haven't been able to get real medical care. I go to doctors. I go to tons of doctors. I try new medicines, and it's like a waste. Finally, I got them to listen, no more medication, because this clearly isn't working, and it's messing with my mental health more than helping. So interesting that these things I'm getting prescribed have the opposite effect of what they're supposed to do. And so there's not been any relief there's been relief through different therapies I've been doing, but it's so wildly inconsistent. It's crazy. So I'm grateful for these last few days of having a relatively calm energy for me. Because, you know, with my head not snapping all over the place, it makes it easier to think. And honestly, feeling normal is nice. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I want to talk about, for those who follow me on Facebook, or my friend on Facebook, you saw that there was a relationship announcement. And we've been talking for a long time, but you know, now it's Facebook official, so now it's official and all that stuff. But what I want to, I guess what I'm, no, it's not, I guess, what I'm feeling led to share is this. You know, when the Trimmers first started, and, you know, I was with a family, you know, and doing life together. And mind you, the relationship dynamics were unique, but nonetheless, we were doing life together. And it was with people that I love tremendously. And I still love, because I'm still friends and close with that family. But when I had to leave where I was at, because where I was living at that time, I was already in isolation as much as possible, but it was very, very challenging to truly isolate. And because of that, because of my situation and my health was just getting worse. And little by little, you know, I had no choice but to leave. And when I left, some of you all know the story. It was devastating. You know, it was the most devastating thing ever. And I never thought, I shouldn't say it. No, I didn't. I never thought. Like, I really started to doubt that I would ever be able to date, much less be in a relationship with someone. Because of the physical struggle that the Tremors caused me. You know, talking to people was a challenge. Being next to somebody is a challenge, because of the way that I feel energy. And so the lawn equipment, right now, they just started doing the lawn next door, and I can feel the lawn equipment in my body. So maybe I will trim her. Oh, gosh dang it. Anyway, you know, I had a lot of negative thoughts creep up. And also, the biggest one was, I'm going to be alone, because why would anyone ever want to take this on? You know, like, why would somebody, again, like, there's times that the energy picks up and I start punching like myself, like hitting. And you know, I went through, since January of 24, like, was really beating myself up, and thought, like, no one, like, I can't even have a friendship. Like, how in the world am I going to date? How in the world am I going to find love again? Like, so I was mentally prepared to be alone. And so I started preparing my mind as if, okay, I'm going to finish the race alone. And so I just dug in and focused and more on what I was supposed to do, and to fulfill the mission that I believe I was created to fulfill. And that's where I put all of my energy. And then, of course, putting all of my energy into the purpose that I was created for also comes with having to become the man that I needed to be able to fulfill that mission. And I'm not going to lie and pretend that I didn't have in the back of my head, like, well, maybe I'll meet somebody that will see me for my heart and the man that I've become. And maybe that would attract somebody to look past my situation. But most of my energy went into becoming the man I was created to be, to fulfill the purpose I was created for. And along the way, I met a lot of different people that I became friends with. And sometimes there was like, that silent, well, this person, is this a possibility? And, little by little realize, no, it's not, because I'm not going to settle. Part of becoming the man I was created to be was also realizing that I don't need to be with just anyone. Like, I can wait for the right person. I can say no. I don't need to go on dates when I already know that it's not going to work. I'd rather be alone. I'd rather be home and create something. And it became easier and easier to do. In fact, I would say that the more I healed, the more I realized I didn't need anyone. Did I want someone? Yeah, of course. I have a lot of love to give. And I'm grateful for my last relationship, because that's where I learned to love. And that's where I learned to receive love. And even though I'm still working on that, I'm so grateful for that. I learned how to be a dad. I learned how to be a good partner. I learned, again, how to love and to receive love and to not be selfish. I learned how to really love being in service to a partner. And, but then, the other lessons I had to learn was learning to love being alone. Like learning to love myself enough that I could hang out with myself when that was the only option. And it's funny what happens when we stop looking, but instead focus on just being who we're supposed to be. Becoming the human, if you're a human, however you identify, but becoming exactly what you were created to be, or at least putting all my energy into that. And, I have to be honest with you, over the course of my life, I haven't really ever done that. And taking that time and learning that I'm okay alone, and being willing to go, okay, God, like, I'm still all in on what you created me for. I'm still all in on what I committed to 10 years ago, regardless if it's the loneliest thing ever. And I started to tell myself, well, I'm the world's mayor, so I get to be friends with everybody, and I get to travel all over the world, and the world will be, that'll solve the loneliness and all those other things. But the truth is that I wanted to do life with someone. It's just that I also knew that it wasn't going to be just anyone that could make that work, because I have very, very big aspirations that are frankly frightening to most people who learn about them. And because it comes with a weight and a pressure, and that most people would not want to have. So it was going to be somebody unique and one of a kind. And I was mentally prepared to wait for that one of a kind. And so without going in too far about all of this, I just want to say that I'm grateful that I was patient and waited, because I found the one of a kind. And I'm really grateful for that. And it feels really good to be loved and cared for who I am, without having to hide or pretend or to try to be someone I'm not. Like, just getting to be me and being loved for it is a really great feeling. And the truth is that it would have never happened. It would have never happened had I not learned to love myself and learn loving to be with myself and not needing someone. That was a huge breakthrough for me. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful that I truly found a great partner. And I'm not bad-mouthing anyone in my past at all, because there's a season. There's a season for everything. And I'm grateful for this new season and the upcoming seasons to come. Thank you for being here. We're going to draw the word now. This is spoken word, as I said before. We are live, or possibly you're on the replay. We're going to draw the word, and we're going to see if it aligns at all. Because, again, 8 episodes in a row, the word just seemed to fit. So let's see if we can go number 9. I'll let you look first. Oh, wait. Overcoming. Okay. Oh boy, this one's going to be tough. Overcoming. I want to go mic check. When they're about to freestyle rap and they like don't know the words, they're like mic check. Turn up the bass in my headphones to buy time. Turn up the snare. Okay, I'm gonna forget the word. I'm supposed to laugh at myself. Just laughing at my own stupid jokes. I'm so sorry. I can't focus. It's not that funny, Josh. It's not that funny, Joshua. It's not that funny. Now I'm gonna laugh because all I can think about right now is it's my senior year in high school. I don't know why I'm thinking of this. Because so there's this group of people like thinking about on the way to football games and riding the bus with the football team. And like some of us were real serious and like I would try to turn into a demon, I'm like thinking of like horrific, mean, awful things. And like I'm basically trying to possess myself so I can be a savage on the football field. And I remember some of my friends, they were kind of jackasses. And they would love to laugh. And like they would crack up and make jokes, and I could just get serious. Get serious. It's funny to me. It may not be funny to you. Oh well. It's my live. You don't have to be here. I'm just kidding. Okay. The word. What was the word? Come back here. Oh, overcoming. Man, being an overcomer is like the coolest thing ever. I'm an overcomer. I'm an overcomer. I mean, if you've read my books, The Devil Inside Me, you know anything about my story, I'm an overcomer. I mean, I'm an overcomer. And I think of all the things that I want to be known for in my life. An overcomer and a thriver. And like I wanted the example that I wanted to set for other people. And it would. Oh, dadgummit, we're live. I wish I could cut this out now. Part of the fuel, like other than getting an opportunity to be forgiven for the things that I did, it was to also overcome the obstacles. I have my own obstacles, like, that I had the obstacles that I faced. I had the obstacles that I created for myself. I had other obstacles, disability and so forth, addictions. And it wasn't so much that I just wanted to show that I was an overcomer, and I didn't just want to overcome. I wanted to be able to show that regardless of what awful, evil, dark things that someone does or goes through, regardless of what traumas and addictions and mental illnesses and so forth, I set out to show that you could literally be a batshit crazy, insane person that needed to be put in an insane asylum, and somebody that was a complete junkie, mess, failure, F up, deadbeat dad, sexually confused, psychopath, like whatever, all the things, disabled, disease. I wanted to show regardless of all those things, all those labels, that despite all that, you can still make your dreams come true. Why I'm passionate about media, why I'm passionate about elevating other people's voices, equipping the voiceless so they can have a voice, because I know the freedom in using your voice for truth, using my voice for truth. I know the freedom that comes in that, and I want it for other people. I think about over the course of my life, all the people that have suffered in silence because they were afraid. They didn't want, I think about the middle, I'm, oh my gosh, I'm middle-aged now. Wow, I can't say she's older, an older woman, older than me, who kept the family secrets of being sexually abused by her husband for 30 years. And she did that because she was trying to protect the kids. I think about all the people, the people that are abused, that are silenced because they're afraid to talk out, because maybe there's no justice, there's no backlash. I think about the trafficking victims that go back to their captives because, the devil, is better than the one you don't, is what they say, which is, BS. The devil's the devil. Or the devil in your life is the devil in your life. I mean, never mind. Like, There is a way out for all of us, regardless of what you've done, regardless of your addiction or your disability. There's a way out. There is freedom. And for me, I believe it starts with truth. I think about all the things, I was the really, really terrible liar, and this is why, like, now over the last 10 years, I've gotten so comfortable with truth, and like, I can just talk about things, and I'm not going to make this explicit. I mean, look, my book is very telling. If you really want to know the details, it's all there. And I've talked about it openly on other podcasts and other posts. I just don't want to do it now. I don't need to. There's no reason to. But I think, like, that truth, like, of all the things, like surrendering my life, like, that was powerful. Surrendering my life changed so much for me. Like, I had that declaration of, my life is no longer my own. Take my life, it's yours. I'm surrendering my will for yours, and trusting that path and trusting that decision. But the thing is, I wasn't free yet. I wasn't free. Just like I think about so many other people that, whether it's getting saved or surrendering your life or whatever it is that you say with your belief system. There's so many people I know that go through that process, but they're never free. They stay broken down. They stay hurting. They stay confused. They stay lost. I personally believe it's because we've gotten accustomed to half truth and lying to ourselves. I think we've gotten comfortable with secrets. I also think that society has created such an environment that it's made it very unsafe to come out and be authentically ourselves. I remember finally getting the courage to be open about my sexuality to the people that share my faith. And trust me, I wish I hadn't. I mean, well, no, I'm glad that I was open about it, because I don't like secrets. But if my commitment to serving God wasn't real, I would have bailed a long time ago. Like, if my commitment to a relationship with God wasn't serious, I would have bailed on my faith way early into the process, because of the way I was treated by people who share my belief system. We've made the truth very uncomfortable for people to tell. And so people retreat and tell secrets, or they hide, or they remain sneaking around, skirting around the truth, skirting around commitment, cheating. They complain to their partner that they're unsatisfied, but they're not willing to be honest about what it is that they really want. And maybe they don't even really know what they want. Probably shouldn't be in relationships if you don't know what you want, because all you're going to do is waste people's time, cause confusion, and probably traumatize the crap out of your partner and yourself. I used to say that I think we should do the work to completely heal before we get into relationships, but that doesn't make sense, because you need that relationship to help you heal. I think there's a certain level of healing that should be done before getting to relationships, yes, but at the same time, there's a really amazing approach in relationships of, like, when you find the partner that you love or you enjoy, or like, hey, we've got something here. being honest about the areas that we need to grow and to heal, and say, hey, listen, let's work on this together. Let's heal together. Let's help each other. It's a weird mindset shift how it happens, but it's a beautiful thing. Because that mindset shift, sometimes all we need is a different perspective to see the truth, or to take the sting away from something, or to take the hurt from something, or to remove the trauma out of a situation. Sometimes a fresh perspective can do that. And instead of going into a relationship of like, oh, I got it all figured out and I've got it all and this best foot forward thing, which we all do. I mean, I kind of get made fun of sometimes that I'm just like vomit all my crap on people, or like, here I am, like just former degenerate, degenerate, like here's my baggage, or here's what I'm working on. I mean, frankly, looking at it, I would rather be with somebody that could be honest about the things that they're struggling with and need work on, so I can go, you know what? I just so happen to be the right partner to help you through this. And then the other person has the opportunity of going, you know what? I'm going to help you heal with this. And you can help each other heal. I talk all the time about how our gifts and our talents aren't, about us. It's like how we get to use it to bless other people, to impact other people's lives. It's an amazing thing. Like, we don't need to have it all figured out. And then, mind you, having wanted to become the man that I needed to be and to be able to attract the right partner. But to do that, I had to quit focusing on the fact that I may be trying to become the man to find the right partner, but instead focus clearly on what it is that I was created to do. But that also by default was to become the kind of man that could attract his queen. And I'm not like flexing about who I am, for the record. I have done the work, and I do the work. I'm committed to the work. I'm committed to growing. I'm committed to healing. I'm committed to being the best man that I can be. And I have been for 10 years. Again, not flexing. I'm just saying it's been work. Because you know what? 9 years ago, I wasn't ready. 8 years ago, 7 years ago, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 4, 3, 2, 1 year ago. And my journey wasn't ready. I am now. And it took that much work. It took more failing at relationships, or maybe failing's the wrong way to look at it. The word's overcoming. And sometimes the greatest obstacles in our path are ourselves. Sometimes we have to overcome ourselves to become who we are created to be. Because ultimately, it's the decisions that I make that affect my path to becoming who I was created to be. Sure, I can have outside influences. I can have people come at me, call me names, criticize me, try to trigger me. They can say I'm a false prophet, even though I don't call myself a prophet. They can call me really, really bad, nasty names that I won't say out loud right now. But it's my choice in how I react. And then if I don't have the tools to be able to handle those situations appropriately, how am I going to really show up in a relationship? But if I have the tools, I can make better choices. I can expect better outcomes. I've learned so much just in the last 2 months about how many fights that I essentially escalated because I misunderstood something in a text message. I misunderstood something that I heard. I just heard it, and I'll go, oh, I'm dyslexic. Sure. But I've learned that even then, mishearing something and being able to take it wrong, sometimes just waiting for clarification or even asking for clarification can do wonders in preventing damaged relationships. And this revelation has helped me see the errors of my ways in previous relationships. So lots of fights that could have been avoided, but because I wasn't patient and I reacted, caused the situation to be worse than it should have been. Like, I mean, looking back at that, it's just like, wow, I had no business, like, much less, I had no business being in relationships with the lack of tools, but because I was codependent and horny, made a lot of bad relationship choices. Grateful to be done with that. Still horny though, because I wish I could have not said that out loud. I mean, it is true. But you know what? Even with that, having to learn self-control, don't need to put your penis in everything. Like, I'm serious. Just because somebody turns you on doesn't mean I need to jump in bed with them. And that's been a process, learning over the years, but grateful to get to that place and learning self-control because, I was a hypersexual monkey and, and as great as all that is and fun as it can be, if there's no self-control there, it can become pretty dangerous. Like, how in the world could I ever be dependable in a relationship if I can't control my loins? And that's been a process of years of learning. And the reason I was talking about 10 years, by the way, this journey has been, is to tell you that it's work to pursue your destiny, to pursue your dreams, to become, not everybody has the things to overcome that I did or I have. Everyone's journey is different. Some of you have it much easier and some of you have it way more difficult. But the idea is not to go, well, how many years is this going to take for me to get what I want? How many years is it going to take for me to accomplish what is in these dreams and visions you're giving me? How long is it going to take for me to find love, God? How long? I don't think we get those answers. And I think if we were focused on the time, we would miss the plot. We'd miss the point of why we're doing what we're doing. And all of a sudden, maybe it's not really for the right reasons. Because I'm pretty confident in my journey. I did a lot of compromising, a lot of negotiating, compromising on deals that I may have made or commitments that I may have made, thinking that I could shortcut the process in some way. Because, being patient and waiting on God is not always the easiest thing to do. Gosh, I'll tell you though, waiting on God, waiting on God's universe to deliver, it's worth the wait. I remember coming into money at the wrong time in my life. That money might as well have been a curse on my life. The fact that I lived through that is a miracle. It was like one of the things that proved to me that God really had a big purpose for my life, because if he let me survive what I did in that time that I had a bunch of money, if I survived that, then surely had a plan for me. And but it's worth the work. And overcoming, there's always something to overcome. But typically where things get a little wonky is when we're like first trying to get started, like you're struggling with your addiction. You're just now trying to heal from the trauma or the abuse or being cheated on, trying to deal with a broken heart for the first time. It's the very beginning part where where our faith muscle isn't built yet. We don't have that trust of knowing that everything is, like, hey, all right, I'm meant to overcome this. I'm meant to overcome this giant. I'm meant to overcome this addiction, this trauma, this abuse. It takes a little bit to get there, but you will get there. You just can't give up. And one of the best sound bites of advice I've ever heard in my life, and I say sound bite of advice because it plays like a sound bite in my head. Do something every day to stretch your faith, and you will see God work miracles in your life. You will see miracles every day. Do something every day to stretch your faith. Step into faith. Like, even if you take 5 steps back, try to get a toenail hair, a toe hair. Try to get a toe hair in the positive. But do everything you can each day to stretch your faith just a little bit. You will see so many miracles. It'll blow your mind. I have the biggest faith muscle ever. Why? Because I've seen God work a miracle every day of my life for 10 years. What I've overcome, what I've gotten through, the loss and the re-loss and the loss of more stuff. And even in all that loss, the one thing that never got taken away, when there was nothing left, my purpose remained. So if I know anything, purpose matters. And it's why you were created to overcome. There's not a single giant in your path, a single Tyrannosaurus Rex, dragon, boulder, rock, firebomb from the sky, harp-induced earthquake. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to say that. There's not a single thing that you were not meant to overcome. You were created to overcome every obstacle in your path. Why? So you can teach others how you overcame. That's why our truth matters. That's why your testimony matters. That's why the how you did it matters. That's why there's someone dying, literally dying, to hear your story. Because people will look to you and go, if they can overcome that, I can too. Thank you for watching.